I'm Jay Jackson. Coming up, ChoZen FroZen Danger Zones. Welcome to episode number 29. Hey there, friends. Welcome to episode number 29 of the ChoZen FroZen, where we plan to change the way the world eats one person at a time, one meal at a time. Now, we're going to be talking about some of the danger zones on the ChoZen FroZen. That means places where you can go and there are just thousands of calories that could really throw your numbers off. We're going to talk about what you should do when you find yourself in that situation. Now, just a quick review of the ChoZen FroZen. What we do here is eat 300 or fewer calories every 3 hours, every day, up to 1,200 to 2,000 calories. We eat anything we want, and we eat at prescribed time slots. I eat 3 hours after my first meal, which is typically 8 o'clock. So that would be 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and 8 o'clock. And whatever time your first meal is, eat every 3 hours after that, and you will be doing the ChoZen FroZen if you stay to 300 or fewer calories, up to 1,200 to 2,000 calories every day. Now, let's talk about some of these danger zones. And this is an important one because as one of the important facts about the ChoZen FroZen is that there are zero food restrictions. You can have anything you want. And the reason we do that is because what I've found through my experience of developing the ChoZen FroZen is that if I deny one of my cravings, deny the food that I really, really enjoy, and it may not be healthy food, it will eventually come to a point where I will just load up on it and go crazy on it and throw off any effort to lose weight. So that's why there are zero food restrictions on the ChoZen FroZen and why people are very successful on it, because they can still deal with some of their cravings. But the problem is when you go into some of these restaurants, if your mindset is I can eat anything you want, that old monster, that food monster could easily pop back up and put 2,000, 3,000 calories in your body before you know it, and it's not cheat day, and then you're looking at gaining weight. So we're going to talk about some of those places that are danger zones for you, and you might want to avoid or at least be very aware when you go into them. First, let's talk about restaurants. In particular, restaurants that don't have any of the calories listed on the menus. Those places are danger zones because you don't know what the calories are. You end up having kind of a guessing game with the calories. You know, you can get, of course, the apps, MyFitnessPal or Noom, and then you can put, what that food is you're eating, but you don't know the exact weight. You don't know all the ingredients in there. And if they don't have the exact calories listed, it could be any number. It could be staggering numbers as far as calorie goes. I mean, you can just go in some of the larger restaurants and some of the plates are 2,000, 2,500 calories. And of course, that's your entire day gone as far as calories go. So you have to be very careful with restaurants. And I'm just talking about restaurants in general, in particular the one that don't list the calories. At least the restaurants that list calories, you can choose and have some sort of control, at least seeing the numbers. But then again, that eating monster inside you could take over and just say, numbers be damned, I'm just going to eat. So restaurants, be very careful about that. Even some of the fast food places that don't list the calories, those are places that could just destroy any numbers that you were trying to achieve as far as losing weight and counting calories. So again, be very, very careful. Number 2, we want to talk about buffets. Buffets are anything where there's just food lined up for you. It could be any of some of the restaurants, such as Soup Plantation or Hometown Buffet, or any of the buffet chains that you might go to. But this also includes like corporate events and parties on the job, but also it includes potlucks, church events, where there's just kind of food laid out in a row, and then you kind of go down the line like a buffet and eat all the food. Well, the problem with buffets is you can go in saying, I'm just going to put a little bit on the plate, and then I'm going to keep my calories low, but that just generally doesn't happen. Remember, on the ChoZen FroZen, we still love food. We are still very much in love food. This is not some plan where you say, okay, I just cannot have this steak and I cannot have this pizza because it's just something I don't do anymore. No, we still love food and you still eat anything you want. But in these buffets, remember, you have to control that monster that gets out of control. And if you're successful on the ChoZen FroZen for a while, you know how to do that. So be very careful at the buffet. So if you hear anything like, hey, let's go to a restaurant and it's a buffet, that means get your antennas up. Be careful when you get there. Make sure that you are very confident as far as what you're going to do when it comes to eating. Again, if you're not going to be on a cheat day and then you're just going to try and count your calories and keep it to 300. Very difficult in these buffet places. But I mean, sometimes you have to go out with friends and do that sort of thing. And the final one I want to talk about today, now keep in mind, these 3 are just some of them, but, and there are a lot more. You may have your own personal danger zones, but these are the 3 danger zones that I've had to deal with. The final one other than the restaurants and the buffets, are barbecues and family gatherings. Those are just killers. I mean, there's just really no way around it. For me, I love barbecue. Those of you who may love barbecue, even if you're a vegan, vegetarian, and you're barbecuing vegetarian foods, you have a lot of different things going on at family gatherings and barbecues, namely alcohol and other party enhancers, where you start to lose your ability to kind of fully control what you're doing. And before you know it, you're just stuffing food down your plate, even taking a to-go plate, and you're just running up calories. So have your antennas up when you start hearing things like barbecue, family dinners, buffets, restaurants. How do you combat all of this? Well, you could just not go to those things. But of course, you got to live a social life too. So you're going to go to these things. But what you should do, what I would do, is try and reserve those days for cheat day. Now, this is why cheat day is important, because again, on the ChoZen FroZen, there are 0 food restrictions. You are not trying to change yourself into a person who does eat certain foods. You still eat the foods that you like. We just do 300 calories of it every 3 hours. But when you're talking about some of these danger zones, such as restaurants, buffets, banquets, barbecues, family gatherings, you're talking about bringing back that guy, that person that just would eat out of control. And sometimes you can't stop it. Sometimes you can't control it. But if you try to reserve it for around a cheat day, which is every 10 to 12 days, it doesn't matter then. Hit up those restaurants, hit up those barbecues, hit up those banquets, hit up those buffets, load up, get as much as you want, because that's what cheat day is designed to do. It's designed to break up the routine that your metabolism gets into on any kind of eating plan, whether it's the ChoZen FroZen or anything else. If you don't jar it or give it a swift kick in the butt every now and then, it's just going to get into a routine, and the weight loss is going to slow down, and that's what you don't want. So that's why cheat day is important. You can satisfy those cravings. You don't have to try and figure out restaurants, barbecues, family gatherings, banquets, while you're doing the ChoZen FroZen hardcore on it, meaning 300 or fewer calories every day, because that can be very difficult, if not impossible, really, at most of these restaurants where there's fine dining, even the fast food restaurants where they list their calories. So on those days where you're doing the ChoZen FroZen, very hard to hit some of those danger zones, but just be aware. That's all it is, really. Be aware that these are places that are difficult for those of us who have had eating problems in the past, and we've conquered that with the ChoZen FroZen, but that monster is still there, and you have to, give them satisfy them every now and then, and that's what the cheat days are for. And that's when you can hit up all of these different danger zones. Okay, so that's episode number 29. Once again, thank you for tuning in to the ChoZen FroZen. Hope you're having a wonderful weight loss journey, as I am. And I really appreciate you subscribing and hitting a like and then sharing this with your friends. All right, thanks again for watching. I'm Jay Jackson. Bon appetit.